Thought I might give you guys a little bit of an update about what I've been doing in the last week or so with the car, with the horse float. We've put a diesel here in the horse float, done a heap of work to the cabinetry, or not a heap of work, done some work to the cabinetry in there with the new fridge. I've got a bit of an issue with what I've done up there on the roof rack with the solar panel, and I'm going to need your help, I think, some advice at least. Well, I guess I'll show you the horse float first. The horse float is just, well, obviously it's for horses, but it's big enough also that we use it for camping when we're both here. So that up there is a double mattress that rolls out. So when we go camping and this has got horses in it, the horses obviously don't sleep in here, and we take these doors off. So this is like a big open area there. So we sleep on the floor underneath here. But in the winter, it gets pretty freaking cold. So underneath this seat here, I've installed a diesel heater. This is just a gas cooker, and it comes out before the diesel heater goes on. And the diesel heater's down underneath there. And there's the outlet for the diesel heater and the control panel. It actually wasn't that big a deal to install. What I would say though is if you're anything at all like me, chances are you don't read instructions, and the diesel heater is not something that you want to skip the instructions on. It comes with this very fine, almost brittle feeling fuel line, and I couldn't work out how to get it all connected, but it comes with a little bit of rubber, and you're basically making adapters to go into everything. It was a bit weird. I'll show you one of these things underneath here, I guess. I think I can see pretty sure I can. Still need to cut the zip ties apparently. So that's the pump there, and you can see the little bits of rubber underneath it, where the diesel fuel line goes into those little bits of rubber in the pump and stuff. Also in the float, I did in that cabinet right there is the fridge. The old fridge that was in here, it died. I ended up getting a Bushman one, and the Bushman one is a little bit shorter. It's the same capacity as the old one. I installed this little tray here underneath this shelf here, just for like light things like towels and things like that, like dish towels and stuff. But also cut out a couple of, you can see a hole over there inside and a hole on the door here, just for the vents for the fridge, to keep the fridge ventilated. And that's really the thing, isn't it? Like always, doesn't matter what setup you've got, whether it's like a four-wheel drive fit out, a caravan, a horse float, it doesn't matter what your setup is. All those little things, they all help, and they all help make it that little bit more comfortable. Just little things. The little things matter. Like for example, I probably haven't shown you this. You know, my Cobra, I used to be hanging it up on these straps here, and it's not a bad idea, but what it does do, if you leave it in there all the time, it kind of deforms the bash of the hat. So what I got was these. And this here is just a magnetic clip. Sarah got one for her bag when we went to Japan, because she wore her Akubra the whole time we were in Japan. I'm pretty sure she was the only person in Japan that wore a friggin' Akubra. But the idea here is, I'll just set up the camera so you can actually see what I'm doing. Hopefully that looks like about it. So the idea here is that the clamp, it's a magnet either side of the base of the hat there. So I'll put that up and close that on, and that's it. That's where my hat sits now. Little things like that, just the little things that make it just that little bit better. The hat thing, if like the Yoki straps are a good idea, and I ran with it for a while, but eventually it just destroyed the bash of the hat, and I didn't like that. Got something else to show you. As some of you know who watch all of the channels that we have, like the photography channel, the Windella Farm channel and this channel, people who know what I do outside of this right here, you might understand where I'm going with this. So the photography stuff aside, we also have a farm here. We have a dairy goat farm. And farmers are, certainly in Australia, I'm going to say most of the world would be like this. Farmers are kind of jacks of all trades, if you like. We tend to try and find the quickest way to do something, the cheapest way to do something, and as a result, not all of them, there are outliers to all of these things, but most of us, you carry a can of WD-40 and a roll of duct tape. If it's not moving and it should, the WD-40, and if it's moving and it shouldn't, you use the tape. And with farming, you've got those two things, and you've also got tech screws. Tech screws fix everything. Tech screws, baling twine and fencing wire, they fix everything. And I've stuffed up, and I'm not afraid to show you this, because it's a good lesson for everyone. Up here, on the roof rack, you may remember solar panels and stuff. And I replaced a large solar panel up here with this smaller one, mainly because what I've got going on with the water tank, I was in two minds about taking the water tank down, but I really like having that there. It's such a good bit of kit. When I installed it there, and it was a sponsored video, and a few people said, oh, you bloody sellout and all the rest of it, but I absolutely rate that thing. It's so good. Because the 76 and the way that I've got it configured, there's not a lot of room there for water in the back, inside the vehicle. Maybe on the bottom of the floor on the back seat, that's an option. But this was given to me. I did a video and I was in two minds about taking it off because of how much room it takes up, because of the solar panels. And you need to understand how I worked before. Before this channel, we didn't have this carport, or the garage here to put the car in. So it was out in the sun all the time. And where I was working was about 3 minutes away. So my drives through the week, aside from the times that I would go out bush and go camping, the rest of the driving was very, very short. And there's not enough to charge the batteries in the back, the secondary batteries. And I had the fridge on all the time. So I had a 160 watt solar panel on the roof here, and that kept that battery charged all the time, and it worked really well. Well, once the water came about and the different configuration of what's going here, my life has changed. I don't work anymore besides the YouTube stuff. This is a problem because, well, I was driving down the road and we were actually out bush last weekend. Sarah and I went for a drive out in the bush to have a look to see how many campers were out there. It was really, really hot and there were bugger all out there. And she kept saying to me, what's that bloody noise? I can hear something on the roof. And I thought it was the poles in the 30-second awning bag. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's no big deal, no big deal. This was the problem. Yeah, that's a problem. And this is where the tech screw thing comes into it. Because just underneath here, I don't know if you can see it. Well, I'll show you over this side first. You can see just how many tech screws are holding down this solar panel. None, not a single one. And on the other side, there's only 3. So this dickhead shouldn't have used that. Should have used like a nut and bolt situation. That's what we should have done. I didn't. The farmer in me went, tech screws are fine. Tech screws, corrugations, all falls to shit. So whatever you're doing on your vehicle, especially if you're a farmer, like to have a good hard look at yourself, because I've had to, don't use tech screws for this sort of thing. It's not going to work. So my plan here is to take this solar panel off, because I don't really think I need it. And to be honest, this one is like teeny tiny. It doesn't really do anything at all, really. So I'm going to take this off, leave it off, and just run from the front battery, just charge off the front battery, because I'm not really doing short drives anymore. Like, I'm out bush often enough, so it's enough there driving to charge. The other thing that this did, though, is charge whilst I'm at camp. And with the setup that I've got in the back, the 12-volt system, the Egon distribution hub that's in there, I can just plug a secondary solar panel in there. I'm going to leave the wiring up to the roof here because you're allowed to change your mind, and in the future I may do. I may put a solar panel back up here. But I am thinking I'm going to get a solar blanket or a a movable solar panel. But I don't know enough about them as to which ones are worthwhile getting. So I've got an A10 power battery in the back, and I rate it. And I've had A10 power stuff before. I know they make them, so that might be the go. But I'm after a little bit of input from you guys. What do you use as far as the external solar panels at camp, the ones that you can put out? So I'll have to run another cable down and at the back or somewhere to put an Anderson plug there, obviously. That's no big deal, that's here nor there. But I'll take this off now. But I'm after a little bit of advice from you, because I know a few of you guys have got this sort of gear. What is there? The Red Arc stuff is really good, but it's so expensive. I've got a Red Arc charger in the car, and it was expensive, and the Red Arc solar panels are really expensive. So let me know what you guys are using. Even the King stuff looks pretty good, and I see good reviews on it, but it's King's, so I'm not sure. I've got a King's battery in the float, and it works just fine. So yeah, let me know if you can. I'd really appreciate the help. So I'm going to take this off now. I'll show you, I don't know if you guys have seen in other videos, I would have shown you what else I've got going on up here. This is the wedge tail roof rack. So here I've got just some eyelets there. From what I've been told, I haven't done it myself, but I've actually spoken to a few people that I've pulled up on the side of the road next to, who have wedge tail racks and different accessories on the roof. And from what I've seen, the Rhino rack stuff fits this roof rack as well. It's the same sort of fixing as what the wedge tail is. So if you didn't want to go with the wedge tail stuff, you can certainly go with the Rhino stuff. With the exception of, I think, let me just turn that around, down here, like on these bars here that come over this lip, because this is raised up from the crossbars here. So the Rhino rack stuff won't, because it's flat from what I understand. So over here I've got the eyelets that are sitting in place there. There's 4 there. That's just for the swag to go up on the roof. I've got nothing over in the front corner over there. I don't think I need to. Then there's the Sanhema water tank, and on the other side of the Sanhema water tank, you may have seen at the front there the shovel over the other side. The shovel was just a must-have for me, for fire cooking and for, well, you know, and the Max Tracks. Other than that, that's it on the roof. The only thing I don't like about this roof rack, and it's kind of a must-have, is if you have a look at how the awning is mounted, you see that there? That's the awning bracket. It goes a good bloody 40 centimetres in from the side. You have a look here. See, this is the awning bracket. It's because it's for a 270 awning, there's a bit of weight in them. Yeah, so it just takes up a bit of room, and you have to be a bit more creative about the way you lay it out. So, like I said, I'm going to take this off, and I'll leave the wiring up here, but please let me know what external, like the fold out or the blankets, the solar panels. Let me know what you're using, if you're happy with it. Give me some input, because I'm going to need to do that, I think. All right, see you next week.